Greetings everyone all around the world. Welcome to Let's Go. This is STM, Satyam Frester reporting to you with another awesome guest, Dominic the Heat Martin. He's a very young, talented and explosive MMA fighter who is rising up the ranks, and he has a fight coming up this 5th of May 2018 against Richard Pence. So let's go and find out more about him. Oh, hello, bro.
Hey,
How you doing?
how's it going? Let's hope it
Yeah,
works.
I'm doing good. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Dominic the Heat Martin, and he's one of the most youngest and exciting fighter in MMA today. Yeah, he's got a record of 12 wins and 9 losses, and his fighting style is extremely impressive. He has many first round finishes, and he fights out of Illinois. So tell me, how did you start getting into MMA? Like, at what age did you start, and why did you start fighting?
I started when I was 11. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland, and just was having problems at school. Was never the biggest and toughest kid, so my dad brought me to boxing one day, and fell in love with combat martial arts. Pretty much been a practitioner of the sport ever since then. You know, I've been doing American boxing and then American kickboxing, doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff, and developing as I went along for the past 10 years.
How difficult was it transitioning from boxing to MMA?
For me, it was pretty easy actually because I realized uh, more of the reasons why you do things rather than just the technique. But like for me, cutting angle was never you just stepping to the side. It was always you know, creating an opportunity to put a better punch on your opponent. So the same concept goes into MMA that you bring from boxing, except for now you're creating opportunities for your legs and not just your hands. You're creating opportunities for your takedowns and not just, you know, your punches.
Okay. So, were your parents like really supportive of you playing fighting and making a career in fighting? Didn't they say just go to university first and get a degree or something like that? You're pretty young. It's why just
Yeah,
21.
yeah, right. My
Yeah.
thought was I can always go back to college. You know, you're always you're gonna have an opportunity to go learn, and if that doesn't work out, I can always go bag groceries or flip burgers. I'm not always gonna be a young athletic guy. You know, I'm not always gonna be able to take headshots like this. So I figured while the timing is right and while I have the opportunity and I'm blessed with the ability, I'm gonna use what I have to its full advantage and try to make something of myself.
I've seen in like web pages like your first fight was a kickboxing match, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and you lost it, and you came back after that and became so successful. I mean, like, you
Actually,
did.
I won my first few kickboxing matches.
Okay.
It wasn't until my third and fourth one I lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely overcoming the adversity of losses was the key to my career so far. You can look at my record and see, you know, 12-9. Most people would assume that's a very average record. You know,
Yeah.
you're a very average fighter, but nobody takes into consideration that I walk around at 155 pounds and I fought half my fights at 155 pounds because I can't get fights at 145. So much so that I'm dropping to 135 to continue fighting.
Uh,
So when you look at the story behind the record, there's more to it than just
yeah, I know.
a fight.
Yeah, the mentality you have, like, anytime to fight, anytime, anywhere, any place, and that mentality like really catches me. Yeah? Which is the
Yeah.
shortest amount of time you have like taken the fight, short notice fight.
Like, what's the longest or the shortest?
Shortest,
Or
like, means like I've seen like you fight very recently, on short notices,
Mhm.
and if anybody comes, you don't mind, just go out there and fight.
What was it? My shortest one was 3 days apart, I think. I fought Saturday. I fought four fights in a month, and I
Yeah,
fought in Minnesota, and then I went to New York, and then I went to Iowa, and then Wisconsin. And in between New York and Iowa was 3 days, 3 or
Like,
4 days.
what game plan do you have in mind? You know, fighting like you just go and then give me anyone. Like, do you have any
I
game
don't
plan
really like
against?
to game plan. No, no, I don't like to game plan because in my mind, anything can happen in any given fight, and too many people get caught up in game planning, going out and doing one specific thing, and then that doesn't work. They get flustered and they lose their cool in the fight, and then they lose the fight because they're making mistakes, not
Okay.
sticking to the game plan. If you don't plan anything, you don't make mistakes off of what you were trying to plan. You just go out there and you fight off instinct and off heart.
Okay. So what about like opponent changes? Have you any faced any such like that?
Yeah, my first MMA fight ever.
Yeah.
Um, my opponent dropped out 4 days before the fight at 145 pounds, and they replaced him with a fighter that weighed 165 pounds, and I still fought. I weighed
Okay.
in at 145, he weighed in at 165.
Okay. So do you even study your opponents before the match?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It depends. I mean, it depends on the fight. Obviously, one of those fights where it was short notice and, not too much time to prepare. I didn't do too much research on them. But like for this upcoming fight, I fight at 135 pounds for a local title. I've been doing like video research, looking this guy up, seeing his training regimen, seeing his workouts and what he does in the fight. Everybody has a tell. Everybody does something before they do something else.
Okay.
You'll always take one step one way versus the other way, or put your hand up or at a different angle when you're about to jab or something. Everybody's got something. So
Yeah.
it's all about finding that and exploiting it.
Okay. So tell me about the time when you fought like 4 fights in 4 states, and within 3 weeks. That's crazy, man. That's ludicrous. I don't think anyone has done that before you. Yeah? So that must have taken a
Yeah,
lot of toll
uh,
on your stress on your body, mind, whatever, man. That is amazing.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a small feat. I've been hearing that a lot. A lot of older guys too. Pat Miltich and Jens Pulver, and a lot of old school guys from the area that I'm in are
Yeah.
showing me a lot of respect for that too. 'Cause that is what they call the old school mentality of fighting. Anytime, anywhere, anybody, don't matter. It's just that's how I was raised. If we got to fight, we got to fight.
What do other people tell you when you do such things? They're like, be careful, and it may affect your career or something like that. They don't tell us just like go for it.
It's about half and half. A lot of people that aren't involved in the sport and that don't think too in depthly tell me that it's a bad idea. Like a lot of younger fighters are like, oh man, you're gonna get hurt and then what? But in my mind, if I don't do something like that, I don't potentially have this phone call with you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have other interviews, the amount of publicity and the amount of exposure something like that offers you to go and do something out of the norm that other people don't generally do in the sport. That's something alone to do. So, I don't know. I think I lost track of your question in there somewhere, but I hope I
No,
answered it.
yeah, you answered it. You answered it pretty well. In your last fight against Mike Ship, you were unhappy about something at the last. You were telling something to him. What were you telling at that time?
I got respect for Michael Shipp. My whole gripe about the fight was I'm pretty sure I'm the first person ever in the history of MMA to get TKO'd via arm strikes, like via punched in the arm too many times. Because I got punched in the head, I think even on the scorecards it was like 4 or 5 times total, and I got like 4 or 5 significant strikes to stop a fight. I don't know. I felt like I was significantly defending myself, like nothing was getting through.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fight game. That's why there's a third guy in there. It's up to his discretion to stop the fight, protect the fighters. He thought I was in danger. We saw it differently because he can't feel what I'm feeling. I can't see what he's seeing. So it
Okay.
happens, and I'm sure one day I'll be on the opposite side of that. I'm sure one day I'll be punching somebody. They might not be getting through. The fight will be stopped, and he'll be upset about the decision. when that day comes, I'll be on the other side of that and happy about it. So it's just the way the sport works. I should have worked a little harder and not ended up in the position that I was in the first place.
Okay. So I'll bring you back to like Tyler Albert. In the fight, you got punched in the throat or something like that.
Hmm.
Am I true? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was posturing up in guard, and I went to pull him back down, break his posture as he posted on my chest.
Is
Same time,
is
and
is,
he just like slipped off on my sweat, elbowed me in the throat.
is it legal to punch in the throat or something like elbow in the throat?
I don't think it's illegal
Yeah.
to
I think you
target
should have won
the
that.
throat. There,
You should have got disqualified or something.
I feel like it should have been. I feel like it should have been at least a no contest. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like they didn't even give me 5 minutes to recover.
yeah.
You know, it's an illegal blow, and you're supposed to get 5 minutes from a legal blow. And I didn't get 5 minutes to recover and continue fighting. I even stood up and, asked, "Are we ready to go?" He said, "No, the fight's done." Like, oh well, that's
But you're cool with it,
whatever.
yeah. I was very
At
impressed
the
by
at the
that.
time, I was calm about it. That was I think my fourth or fifth fight. I was really young then. I was only 18 when I fought him the first couple times. So I didn't really know, what to do at that point. But now looking back at it, I definitely should have, I don't know, put in a little more effort to get that in no contest. But
Okay,
we're amateurs. In my mind, I'm still 0-0.
okay.
Until I go
So,
pro, I'm 0-0.
so I always imagine like, why do you need to fight so much in such a short notice of time? Are you not worried that it'll affect your career or your health? What's the
Uh,
like? Why do you
I
fight
feel
so much in such a short notice time?
I feel like what it's doing for me is it's giving me the opportunity to really experience the fight. A lot of young fighters they get caught up in training and they're training full
Yeah,
camps. They'll put three months of camp in
yeah,
for a fight, and then they're
exactly.
only getting 3 or 4 fights a year. And then you go pro, and you decide you're finally going to fight out of your hometown, and you travel. Maybe you got to fly to India. Maybe your first professional fight, second professional fight's in India. You got to fly to India, and you're staying overnight in India. Your body's not used to their water. You forgot to travel and pack your own
Yeah,
water and your own food because you can't eat food, just like Canela. Like what type of decision is that you're gonna eat tacos off a taco truck in a place that you don't normally go to? That's a
yeah,
bad that's a bad idea as a fighter, and that's things that I have realized through fighting so much, and that's why you take fights on short notice. That's why you take fights out of your comfort zone. So now I know pack my own lunch, bring my own water, all these other things to avoid just little stupid things that nobody wants to think about, but could possibly catastrophically end that fight or your career.
okay,
You get some tainted supplements or tainted water or something, and all of a sudden you're on a banned list for fighters for steroids for the rest of your
okay.
life.
Yeah,
And
true, true.
that's one of those things where like I learned that from taking these short notice fights, from taking so many fights, from
Oh,
traveling so much.
oh, oh. So,
I've learned, sorry,
yeah,
not to interrupt. I've learned so much so as to book my own hotel room at
oh,
another hotel that I can refund to if like my promoter has a hotel for me. Because sometimes you'll show up and the promoter will tell you they have a hotel and you
yeah.
won't.
Okay, wow, that's
Yeah,
something
so
unique.
I've learned enough to, get my own hotel before I even hit the road.
Oh wow, nice. That's something new, yeah. So tell me about
Yeah.
your next opponent. Like, how are you thinking to approach him? Yeah,
Richard Pence, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure is the name of my next
yeah.
opponent. I think he's 7-1 or 8-1,
He's
something like
also
that.
12-9. He's also 12-9.
Oh, he's
Same.
12-9
Yeah.
too. Oh man, you do good research, man, because everybody I've been talking to is telling me he's like 8-1 or 9-1. Um, I don't really have a. Again, I got a little bit of a game plan. I know I'm definitely going to be bigger,
Okay.
dropping from the weight that I'm dropping at. I've never fought at 35 before, but I don't know. Probably just go in there and try to hurt him. It's usually just my game plan.
Oh my
Just
god.
go. I can't even. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. If he's standing too far forward, I'll kick his calf out and then throw a right hand behind it. If he's leaning too far back, I'll follow in with my punches more. I'll fucking run a little more into him. That way, while he's going backwards, he'll catch one. If he's leaning back and not moving his feet, I'll kick him in the head. I don't know. If he's leaving his hands down, I'll kick him in the head. If he's leaving his hands too high, I'm trying to protect from a head kick, I'll take him down or judo throw him if I get him against the cage. Who knows? It could go anywhere. That's actually the first time I've thought about the fight, other than just thinking of what I got to do to train. So I haven't really put a game plan together yet.
You're so cool. Like I don't even know. Like, like that you're fighting for a lightweight title? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's for the bantamweight title of the promotion. Yeah.
Oh, you're so cool. Like, give me anybody and no title. Title, just give me a fight. That attitude, man. Amazing.
I told the promoter. I was like, he asked me, I was like, what do I got to do to get you on the show? I told him I want to make my drop to 35. I was like,
Yeah.
give me a title shot at 35. I'll come over to the show, and like we'll see what happens. So it was just fortunate. Like-minded people connected on that one, and now I get this opportunity.
Who's your MMA inspiration? It really makes me wonder.
Uh,
You
I was always a huge fan of Spencer Fisher. He was one of my longtime coaches, and I remember the first UFC fight night, first time UFC was ever live on TV. Pretty sure it was him and Sam Stout as the main event for the second time. And if you're a fan of the sport, you know the Spencer Fisher Sam Stout fights. They were bangers.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very inspirational to be able to be coached and mentored by somebody that I watched for so long in the sport at such a high level too. He had 17 UFC fights and coached me for 3 years and brought in very high level people. Carlos Limas Jr. from Gracie Baja, Chicago. He's a 5-stripe black belt, 5-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. Dwayne Bain Ludwig, Sam Stout came in. So many people. He brought in through those doors. Pat Miletich, first 155 champion. Jens Pulver. So many people. I could keep going on too. Keep naming people that he brought in all the time. So
you are
it's
also
definitely
there.
good to have him. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Nobody's ever said that.
Hey, but
Nobody's ever said that.
by the things you have done till
One day those guys are gonna look back and be like, man, Dominic Martin trained with us. You guys remember that?
by the things you're doing, I think you'll progress even further. What's your dream match, bro? Like, I want to have this match in
Oh,
somewhere.
my dream match?
Yeah, somewhere, some point in your career, I want to have this match against this person.
I would love to fight Frankie Edgar.
Frankie
I would
Edgar.
love to fight. I would love to fight Frankie Edgar because I feel like he would be. I got so happy when you asked me that because I never thought about that, but definitely Frankie Edgar because we would have to kill each other. Like, that would be a fight to the death. That would be a 5-round fight to the death. That would be awesome. That would be the most exciting fight I'd ever been a part of.
Not McGregor. He brings you.
No,
lots
I
of
feel like I'd beat McGregor. I feel like unless he's developed his ground game a little better, like I'm not gonna go out there and fight his fight. I'm not gonna go out there and trade with him. I would smother him. And I say that I would beat McGregor if we were the same size. He is significantly bigger than me. He's a true. How he got to 45, I don't know. We're the same height, but he has a lot of mass to him. So I think he's definitely found his home at 55. But no, I don't think that would be the dream fight. The dream fight's definitely Frankie Edgar for me. Because he's got the wrestling, the hands, he's got the explosiveness, the speed. That'd be a really good matchup if I was like at my best at the highest level I could get to fight Frankie. That'd be awesome.
Now, bringing back to McGregor, like, what do you think about that bus attack incident? Was it like?
You're hearing all sides of it. Everybody's like, oh, you got to respect somebody that goes that far for his friends, which is true. I respect that, especially coming from where I came from to do stuff for your friends. I definitely respect that. But What I don't respect is the manner that he did it, and kind of just like the way that he went about it made it seem more like it wasn't about what happened, and it's about what's going to happen. He was trying to kind of make some controversy. In my mind, if you're going to retaliate against something, you're not going to do it where there's a bunch of cameras and a bunch of people and witnesses. Khabib even
Okay.
said it. You can send me a text anytime, anywhere. We can meet up one on one, 10 on 10.
Yeah.
We could figure it out. We don't have to go and ruin other fighters' nights and possibly careers like Ray
Yeah.
Borg. He might not ever be able to fight again, depending on how the glass operation goes or whatever happened to him.
Yeah. That was yeah. So like your first MMA fight was against Patrick Simmons, right?
Um,
You got a choke on him.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
I was telling
I,
you to do. I want to tell you that describe that fight. Yeah. Wow.
uh,
Like
I
how
can
you.
describe you my first fight. I don't know the name of the guy I fought first. I feel like Patrick is probably right. Uh, I just remember he was the guy that they replaced short notice on like
Yeah.
4 or 5 days. He came in at 165, and then when we got to fighting, I was just my instinct was to wrestle. So we threw hands for a little bit. I pushed him to the cage, and then I just took him down for the first round. And then second round, he came out and he tried to throw a head kick, and I actually slipped his head kick. I ducked under his head kick, and he fell. And then I jumped on top of him in the side control. He tried to grab my leg and kip up for a single leg, and I reversed that into a mounted triangle for the finish.
Oh, okay, so you look like one of the most coolest MMA fighters I've ever talked to. You're like,
You mean
and
like calmness, like thinking about it?
not calmness, like bring anyone. You don't remember like
Oh
just
yeah,
coming, fighting it.
yeah. In my mind, if I've told everybody for as long as I've been in the sport, I will be the UFC champion. That's set in stone. That's already wrote. I just got to walk this path now to get there.
So
I
what's
was
your
going somewhere with that.
ultimate goal in life and in your fighting career?
My ultimate goal in life is just to be a good person and to help other people and support my family after my fight career. My fight career is more to nobody wants to fight. Like everybody that fights, we fight because it's our best option. Nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody comes from a great background.
Mm.
Nobody comes from a high income home and decides I'm going to go fight MMA and try to be a world champion. You do that when you don't have much. You do that when you come from nothing to try to build to something. So that's what my fight career is about. I want to build something to leave behind.
Okay. So
That's like the overall goal.
okay. So that's it for today. Yeah, it was really awesome to talk to you. Like, so you're so cool. Oh, exactly opposite to your record. Fighting anywhere, anytime. I thought you were like really explosive, really thumbs up, but
Yeah.
extremely casual, extremely cool. Thank you very much for coming. I will have you next
Hey,
time,
thank you very much
sure.
for having me. I
After your
appreciate it
next
a
match.
lot. Give me a call anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Take care.
So that was Dominic Martin, and it was great to have him on the show. Really a cool and casual guy, and really fun to talk with. So that's it for today, guys. We'll see you in the next episode with another awesome guest. The next guest is gonna be just awesome. I tell you, he's a UFC fighter who's agreed to come to our show. He is Eddie Truck Gordon, the winner of TUF 19 season. That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.